All right. Well, I'm going to get right into this because I've got another tough topic nobody wants to talk about to discuss with you. So, welcome, my Bella Vista family. Do you mind if I call you guys that? That's what we all call each other on our Facebook page. We refer to ourselves as the Bella Vista family, and we are lifers because we just can't imagine our lives without the majestic Mastiff in it. So now listen, I had mic problems the other day. Y'all gonna tell me this time? You're not gonna let me go with I got something on my face or the mic don't sound right. All right, I'm getting the thumbs up from the other room. So I wanted to get set up, give people a few minutes to join. I want you to know right off the bat, yeah, my do-rag's a little crooked. Some of these subjects we talk about, people contact me. A lot of the time it's other breeders that contact me and say, you've got the platform, you've got the knowledge, can you do a live on XYZ? And so tonight, it is because in the last year, I have had probably, am I talking too loud? 6 people contact me that previously had pups from other breeders, and I found that over the last 6 months, I'm having to contact other breeders and say, hey, hey, I have one of your clients here that's having a problem, like, you're not answering the phone, hello? So last night's live was about breeder etiquette, how you should act when you contact a breeder. Tonight's live is about how breeders should act. Nobody talking about this stuff, see? See? Nobody talking about this stuff. We're going to talk about it tonight, Bella Vista family. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Upon the request of several of my clients that have just plain had it with some breeders around the United States. Some of these people are under contract with me. Y'all like my American flag do-rag? Well, I kind of did it. What do you think? All right, let's get into it. So over the last 6 months, I've had some phone calls from people that are now under contract to me, but have gotten dogs in the past from other breeders. So we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty tonight. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it raw. We're going to tell you, listen, this is my opinion. This is my platform. Y'all came to join me. So, on behalf of the Bella Vista family, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. Last night's live, like I said, was about how you should act when you contact a breeder. But how about how the breeder should act? Ooh, nobody talking about that. All right. So, I'm going to put my little glasses on. Going to ruin the whole vibe, but that's too bad. All right. So, grab your coffee. Grab your beer, whatever you're going to drink. The Boston accent comes out when I'm aggravated. Grab your beer. Or your pipe. Huh?
The dragon has landed.
Oh, hey, so the astronauts
I just landed in the Gulf of America.
have just landed in the Gulf of America, and you heard it first here, my Bella Vista family. All right, I want to see if you have not subscribed to this channel where we are talking about them hard subjects nobody wants to talk about. We are showing you the real deal, the 100%, the elite, the incomparable Del Fracasso bloodlines right here in the United States with your girl, Helen, with your girl. Okay. Because you know what? A lot of people out there think they have Del Fracasso and they go around saying they have Del Fracasso, but they don't. Just telling you. Just telling you. It's exclusive. I'm going to put my glasses on and we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Do I look goofy? Don't you dare give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, you need to, because we're talking about some real stuff. We are talking about some real stuff. So, as a breeder, what are you breeding? I breed English Mastiffs. We breed English Mastiffs here. Over the years, I've had Rottweilers, German Rottweilers. And I was raised around Mastiffs. My dad had Mastiffs. So I kind of know the breed. I know a thing or two or three. I kind of have a background in the medical field because my best friend, Kelly, is a large animal neurosurgeon in Canada. She's like a professor. She has this big title. She's a professor at the Atlantic Veterinary College, and she knows a thing or two. So, all right, here we go. We all ready? My Bella Vista people? If you're just joining us and you're not part of the Bella Vista family, well, you want to be, because we are cool. We keep it real. We tell the truth. And, yeah. We're just like an elite club. The Facebook page is private because we don't want no garbage. We can't have no garbage on the Facebook page. I'm just saying. I'm trying to be a little sarcastic. I kind of had a rough start to my day. Thanks to a couple of good friends, I was able to laugh through my pain. But, we all got to be there for each other and get each other through and build each other up. And for heaven's sakes, don't knock each other down. So, if you don't know who I am, let me just preface all this with telling you, my name is Helen. I grew up just outside of Boston. If you can tell, I kind of hung out in the North End. Yeah, I did. I have a whole lifetime in horses. Let me see, what else? I have a whole lifetime in horses. I showed AQHA. I did some barrel racing and games. And my forte, my favoriteest thing, was Western dressage. It's still Western dressage. I am a very technical person. You can get hung up in technicalities with me. Okay? I am a brutally honest person. I train brutally honest horses. My dogs are brutally honest. The Mastiff, if you get good lines, they're the most honest and trustworthy breed on the planet. Got to start out with them good lines. So where am I? I'm going to read. All right, here we go. Because I had to take notes because I ramble. All right. If you are a breeder, do I look goofy? All right. If you're a breeder, and I don't care what breed you're breeding, you have to remember something. Without your clients, babe, you're nothing. Hear what I said? Without your clients, you are nothing. First of all. Second of all, there's enough backyard breeders in the world today. Do you want to be part of the problem or do you want to be part of the solution? That's what I'm asking you. You want to be part of the problem or do you want to be part of the solution? Listen, 70% of the time, people go out there and they buy a really nice male or female that takes everything they got. Then they run out and they buy a low quality male or female, opposite of what they bought. And then they think, crap, I'm in so deep and I still got a mortgage, I still got a truck payment. I'm going to breed them. Sometimes they breed without permission from the breeder. No bueno. No bueno. Don't do that. If you're going to breed animals, you need to have breeding rights, and you need to have permission from the original breeder. And anything other than that is dishonest. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple of stories here along this night. I'm a little socially awkward. I don't talk real well in public. So bear with me. I don't want to jump around. But couple of things. About 5 years ago, my policy is that we will always take dogs back. If there ever comes a point that you cannot keep your dog, your pup after it's grown, your dog, for the lifetime of the dog, we will always take the dog back. About 4 years ago, I got contacted by one of my clients who I loved this girl. She literally had been here like 3 or 4 times. I made big Italian meals. We hung out in the whelping room. We went live together. This girl could have been my sister. I literally loved this girl. Literally. As a breeder, you get very friendly with your clients. You get very close to your clients. If you're a good breeder, you're answering your phone. You're talking about them hard things. You're answering questions that maybe other breeders don't want to answer. 2 years into this girl having my dog, that became an adult dog, was the son of my gauge. I knew she was having some rough times. I was there for her in ways that most breeders would have never been there for her. I helped her out a few times along the way. No, I don't need, stop the applause. I don't need any pat on my back. That's just who I am. Maybe you would do the same for me. I got called one afternoon downtown. It's not very often I'm able to come away from my farm. But we drove downtown because I like to walk. I like to walk 3 or 4 miles on a nice day, sometimes on a brisk day. And I had been out walking and my phone rang. And the phone call went like this. Hey, Helen, this is so-and-so. I'm going to need you to take him back. I said, of course. I said, what's going on? Well, this and this and this is going on, and I'm in a tough spot, and I'm going to need you to take him back. So I said, 100%, I am there for you. Drive him up to me. I'll hang on to him and take care of him, and when you get your thing together, you come get him. That's your dog, right? No, you don't understand what I'm saying. I would really prefer you just take him. Listen, I understand he's not neutered yet, so you can probably put him in your breeding program. Okay, well, that's a good thought, but first of all, he left me for 2 years, so he can't just come back to my tribe. I have to segregate him. I have to keep him in isolation. I have to take him to the vet, have a whole battery of blood work done. I have to keep him in quarantine until I know I can integrate him with my very expensive dogs. So it sounds easy enough, take a dog back, but this is a process. It's about a 2-week process and very expensive. But needless to say, I said, no problem. You run him back to me. I'll look after him on my end. I'm not going to make a decision. I'm not going to re-register him. Well, she said, I never registered him in my name. He's still registered under the Bella Vista thing. I said, okay, well, I'll hang on to him as a courtesy to you for a couple of months. When you're ready, you come find me. No, you don't understand. I'm not going to come get him. So you can go ahead and register him. You can go ahead and use him. He carries that dark gene, so you can go ahead and use him. I said, all right, whatever, drive him up to me. No, I don't have the gas to drive him up to you. Okay, no problem, I'll Walmart you money. No, my car's not working. Okay, no problem, I'll send somebody for him. So I first called Scott, my buddy. We co-own a couple of dogs together. And I said, hey, Scott, how long, when are you working? Can you run out to, I'm not going to say the town, can you pick up, not going to say the name of the dog, can you pick him up? And he said, well, tell you the truth, I'm running behind. I got about 4 more loads behind me. I'm on a login road in the middle of nowhere. I wouldn't even be there till probably 10 o'clock tonight. Well, in the meantime, my phone rings. It's another one of my clients who I've become very good friends with. They ultimately did not get a puppy from me, but they are still on the dog page. We've become very friendly, and we do talk from time to time. She called me about something else, and at this point, I'm trying to find somebody to just simply transport the dog for me. So she calls me. In the meantime, my line clicks. It's the dog's owner, my client. And sorry, trying to make sure I'm not got something on my face here and somebody going to tell me that I got to fix something. So in the meantime, I said, yeah, no problem. About a half an hour goes by. She calls me back and she says, so I've been thinking about it. You're actually going to need to buy him back from me. I said, what? What? Yeah, you're going to need to buy him back from me. I said, babe, that's not how this is going to play out. You're under contract to me to protect the dog for the lifetime of the dog. You bought that dog. If I take him back, you just bring him to me. And I'm going to give you the courtesy of housing the dog for the rest of his life. And I haven't even decided if I would ever put him in my breeding program. That's a thing we can discuss later on. But I am certainly not going to buy the dog back from you. She says, well, I'm in the middle of some legal trouble and I need some cash. I said, well, I tell you what I'm going to do. Let my other client go down and pick him up. You give her the dog. You give her his vaccination record to prove he's been kept up to date. And you release the dog to her. And when I get him back in my possession, I'm going to Venmo you $500. She says, oh, thank you so much. That's amazing. I hang up with her, call my other client, Donna. I said, hey, Donna, do me a favor. Is there any chance you can do? She, no problem. When my man gets off work, we're going to run down. We're going to pick him up. It's like snowing out, by the way, guys. This is northern Maine. It's snowing. Her husband worked all day, got off work, drove an hour and a half out to the town the dog was in this sketchy area. She gets out. My client kind of gave her a hard time, okay, which was uncalled for because she was doing me a favor. And when the dog gets in the truck, my other client says, geez, I literally thought she was going to fight with me. And did you tell her you were going to give her some money? I said, yeah, when the dog's in the truck and you're on the interstate, let me know. I'm going to Venmo her $500. So I'm sorry, I got to stop for a minute. Before my other client gets there, she still has the dog in her possession. My phone rings again. She says to me, no, actually, you're going to need to buy this dog back for what I paid for him. I said, I'm not sure what you're thinking, but I am absolutely not going to do that. And she said, well, you are. Because of you, I now know other breeders that want your lines. And if you don't buy him back from me, I'm going to sell him to some of your competition. They are going to collect him and use him in their bloodlines. And then they're going to put, I said, they can't do that. Well, they're going to put their own stud as the sire. I was shaking. I was nauseous. I was spinning because I got friendly with this girl over like 2 or 3 years. She was on my lives. She was up here with me. I cooked her food. I met her mother, her kids, her sister. I can't believe how this is playing out. So I bought that dog back because she told me that she knew there were other breeders in the United States that would want my bloodlines and that they were going to collect him, use him on their females, and then put their studs as the sire. Hence, why I register every one of my dogs' DNA. Not just the dog. The dogs are also registered for AKC, with AKC, but the DNA is registered. So if anybody ever pulls this on me again, I can say, have at it. Have at it. And she was in a breach of contract at that point. But moving on, I had to buy my dog back. Now, one of my other clients steps up, buys the dog from me for not what I paid for it. I took the price of the neuter off because as a courtesy, so I'm losing all this money. My other client, who has a female from me, steps in. I'll throw my hat in the ring, he says. Drives up here, grabs the pup from me, takes him back to Massachusetts, and everything's great. The dog's down there with one of my females from another litter. Everybody's happy and everything's cool. And I've lost a client because I can't believe she did that to me. And about, I don't know, 3 months goes by. My phone rings at 10 o'clock at night. I've been crying all day at that point over something very, very serious that happened in my family. And he says, I'm going to need to sell him. I said, well, you can't do that. Bring him back to me. I said, it's a really bad night. Can I talk to you in the morning? So that didn't end well. He wound up selling him to somebody who found out who I was and my policy. And by the grace of Almighty God, that person did not try and sell him. She gave him, perchance, to a woman that is now on my dog page. She has this dog in question. He looks amazing. He is the son of my gauge. He is in wonderful hands. And they are just hanging out on the dog page, and they do post pictures from time to time. So what I'm telling you is, people can be shady. And sometimes it doesn't happen when you first meet somebody. Sometimes you find out people are shady 2-3 years down the line. I don't trust easy anymore. I'm just telling you up front. You have to earn my trust. And I should have to earn yours. You don't get to just be in someone's life and waste their time. My point about tonight's live, it was asked of me by a couple of people that show Westminster for me to come on my live because I reach so many people and have this hard discussion about how breeders should be treating their clients. My spectacles are going back on. All right. So, when as a breeder, you are contacted by someone about your puppies, you should consider something. Why are they contacting you? They may live alone and be very lonely. They may have just come home from the military and their social world has changed. They maybe just lost a pet of their own. Maybe they admire the breed that you are breeding, but there's usually always a reason that we get contacted as a breeder. So you should realize that there's a lot of emotion that goes into why people contact us as breeders. And if you are a breeder of merit, if you are a breeder of integrity, right? If you're a breeder of merit, you don't just get merit, by the way, and I don't care what you're breeding and what lines you have. You don't just get, I didn't just get to be a great breeder, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but the Del Fracasso name and the Duranx de Bon name did not give me everything that I have in the dog breeding world. You should realize that people contact you a lot of the time with children or grandchildren. Some of the people that contact us are military members that have come home different than they went. Our military leaves their family, a lot of times their girlfriends, their friends, and when they come, and their family, and their mothers, they go and they give their bodies and their lives and their minds to this country, and they come home different than they went. I've been coined the breeder for the military. I don't breed for the military, by the way, but I just happen to have a lot of pups that went into the hands of military members. I don't toot my horn. I'm trying to tell you it takes time and credibility and integrity to be trusted. You do not just get people's trust. Trust has to be earned. Okay? Currently, I got a phone call yesterday from a person that shows Westminster and all the big shows, and she told me that there's a woman in Pennsylvania, that is telling people in the Westminster circuit world of social media that she's like a really good friend of mine and that I supposedly was going to take her dog, Apollo, and breed him to one of my Del Fracasso girls. What? What? Come on. Don't even, you know what they said to her? This story ain't adding up because we know Helen. Guys, I'm $150,000 invested in my breeding program. This didn't just happen. Do you really think I'm going to use one of your studs when I got 3 of my own to breed to my most prestigious and elite bloodlines? Think about the lie you're telling before you tell it. Okay? The woman that called me yesterday said, pardon my French, I call bullshit. In fact, I'm going to call Helen and ask her. So then the story goes to, now you've heard 2 stories. Then the story goes to, Helen was trying to get me to use my dog, Apollo, for her females up there. And I told her I didn't know. Helen's a bit much. I had to kind of walk away from her. You know, and they're like, a bit much? Yeah, because she knows her shit. And I'm pretty sure she didn't want to breed to your dog. Now here's the case. 3 years ago, a woman contacts me, wants to know if I will evaluate her 2 dogs, a fawn and a brindle, their brother and sister. I said, I hate to do this because I don't like to step on toes. She kept asking. She sent me a cute couple of gifts, a candle with the Bella Vista logo on it, and sent me a neck pillow, which I had to throw in the trash because it stunk and it was hot as a rock. And no, I'm sorry, but that was the facts. She kept sending me stuff, and I appreciate it, but like I sort of can smell this kind of thing coming. I've been doing this a long time. I have a lot of people that think they're my best friend. I have a very small circle of friends. The rest of my people in the Bella Vista family, well, they're like family, so that don't count. But as far as you telling people we were like best friends and you were going to come here and stay at my house and you were going to come visit my dogs, this is not a petting zoo. We have never had parvo, never had leptospirosis, never had coccidia, and never had giardia. And I'm pretty sure I never told you could come stay with me. Moving on. I have a couple of best friends that I've been friends with all my life, and I have a new best friend. But I keep my circle small. Why? Because most people can't handle my personality, and I know I'm a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot of stuff in here. But she went around telling people this stuff. So 3 years ago, I said, go ahead and send me his pedigree. So she sent me the pedigree. She hooked me on to the genetic testing. And I said to her, I looked at the genetic testing. I looked at the pedigree. First of all, the dog came from one of the lowest, grungiest backyard breeders in the United States. Nobody in their right mind would buy a puppy from Corinne. I'm going to just use her first name. You know who you are if you're watching, because I know y'all follow me. I get angry because people are throwing my name around. So we're going to just play this out for a minute. But now she's talking to people that respect me in the dog world and that show like Westminster. If you're going to lie, don't lie to people that know me and trust me and respect me. And I respect them because they're going to come back and tell me. But anyway, she sent me the pedigree. And at the time the freaking litter was born, the sire of the litter, he wasn't even registered at that time. Anyway, the dog came. You know why the brother and sister came from that litter? Because the breeder wasn't even taking care of them. The people had to go in and remove the pups from her. So these 2 dogs were gotten for almost next to nothing. Now, listen, it don't matter. I've ridden $400 grade horses, and I've ridden $250,000 Dutch warm bloods. I don't care if you're a millionaire or you're working every day or you're on disability. I don't care. I respect everybody the same. What I don't like is in order to get a hand up and a leg up, you use my name. And now you've got the attention of people that show Westminster, big names you're conversing with, and you're throwing my name around. And so they got one woman to call me and say, ask Helen XYZ. I said, is she out of her damn mind? Anyway, moving on. And here's the kicker. She just went and got some other low-quality backyard breeder to breed her female. She's got pictures all over the internet at different angles of the mother, kind of like what she thinks the dog looks okay. It's not the breed standard. It's not the breed standard. The nose is too long. It's a houndy ear. There's no chest, no hip, no rear angulation. The paws are all tipped out. Come on, guys. You're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. Moving on. I'm only at page 1. Is this entertaining? Y'all have a cup of coffee? All right. If you're a breeder of merit, if you are a breeder that's recognized by AKC, AKC should know your name. The Department of Agriculture in the state that you're breeding should know you. And they should not have paper on you. And by the way, if you're looking for a Mastiff puppy, you 1,000,000% have the right to call whatever state the breeder you're thinking about a puppy from is located. In this case, the state of Maine has the Department of Agriculture, and they know me. Yeah, they know me, and they got no paper on me, and they've known me forever that I've lived here. So, the things that a breeder is responsible for. First and foremost, starting out with the best possible genetics. Why? Because there's enough backyard breeders out there with low-quality dogs. Right now, there's a guy in Ohio, I'm not going to mention his name because you know who you are and you know that you follow me, and he will breed anything. He called me, wanted me to sell him one of my dogs for breeding. Yikes. No. Chased me for like 6 years, sent a bunch of his cronies into me to try and get a puppy from me. No. Mainly because a lot of these breeders in the United States are on Antonio Fracassi's do not sell list. At another point, we're going to talk about do not sell lists and bad manners and finding stuff out after the fact. There is a breeder in Ohio that is known to me. We're going to leave it at that because I know he's watching. And he will breed to his beautiful males, Great Danes, Labs, Rottweiler. Like I have literally, he has called me and people have rolled in his yard and he's like, oh, I got to let you go. I got a couple of Danes here I'm going to breed. And I thought he would say like dames, like girls. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he said, yeah, there's a breeder that wants Daniff pups. Wait, what? I'm not saying that Daniffs don't have a place in this world. They absolutely do. But if you're a breeder of merit, how hard up for cash do you have to be? How hard up for cash do you need to be there, bro? That you are breeding Great Danes. What? You got nice dogs. I know. But why are you breeding Great Danes and Labs? And who the heck knows what else? You got 18 different breeding pairs down there. I think it's Border Collies and French Bulldogs and Pug Dogs and Lhasa Apsos. What else? Come on. It's a little hard to take you seriously. I don't care how long you've been around. Come on now. We're not going to BS here. We're going to tell it like it is. If you are a breeder of merit and a breeder of integrity, pick a lane and stay in it. How about that? The best bloodlines you can afford. I am not saying that every breeder in the United States should be importing males or females. It costs me $10,000 to get Kiana here. $10,000 for Patton, $10,000 for Serafina, $10,000 for Gage. All my dogs. On Bruno and Faith, I spent $14,000. Okay? And I bought Smokey, and that's how Karen wound up with him. Thank God. Anyway, you start out with the best bloodlines, where the parents and the grandparents and the aunts and uncles and cousins of the litter you're trying to breed are genetic tested and clear. Clear. It's not a big word. Clear. You can tell I'm a little annoyed because people are throwing my name around. I don't like it. And by the way, this chick in Pennsylvania is not only throwing my name around, but she's got this, we're going to call her Titan. We're not even going to say the two names, part of her handle, like you can't even have a real name. She claims she's from Boston. Really? And apparently she had some things that were not so nice to say about me. You are not from Boston. You are not Italian, because all Italians stick together and all Bostonians stick together. So if you live in Boston, that's one thing, but you're probably not from Boston. Because Boston girls don't act like that, fool. And I know you guys are watching me. Titan. You talk crap about people. Have some manners. If you got something to say about me, call me and say it to me. Don't be a coward, a keyboard jockey. Don't throw my name around. Jody, that's her name. The chick running around saying I was going to use her mail. You're out of your mind. Okay? There's medicine for stuff like that. Anyway, moving on. If you are a breeder of merit and integrity, here are the things that you should be doing. Number one, when somebody contacts you, there's probably a good reason behind it. Maybe they're home from the military and they came home different than they went. Maybe they lost a family member. Maybe it's a wife that lost her husband or a husband that lost his wife. Maybe somebody lost, God forbid, a child. Maybe someone came through cancer and survived it and they're looking for a lifetime friend. Breeders think that they don't have a big job. You do. You should be only breeding if you have the best bloodlines that your money can buy, and if they are genetically clear. Why? Because the shelters are full of ill-bred dogs. That's why. And once you start tangling with ill-bred dogs, it's like having a hole in a bucket. And I'm sorry, but if you're a breeder, you're taking people on a ride. And I take my clients very seriously, and you should too. Thank God the breeders that I'm friends with, we all understand this. It's a code of ethics. If you don't have the best lines that money can buy or something better than the guy down the road is breeding, you shouldn't be breeding. If you're not bringing something positive to the table, why would you bring life into the world? Do you know that if I don't have people contact me about a particular pair and people willing to go to puppy reserve, I don't breed a female. I have contracts in place on every one of my girls that I'm about to breed. Okay? I would never breed a female and bring life into this world. The shelters are full of dogs. Well, let me just hold on. Let me just ask you this. If you have a male and a female and you call yourself a breeder, and I'm not saying there aren't other excellent breeders in this country, because there certainly are. There certainly are. I'm not the only good breeder. But what I am going to tell you is unless you have better or comparable to me or somebody else, when there's pups of mine out there or other great bloodlines, why are you bringing life into this world and producing 6, 8, 9 puppies and then sitting on Facebook Marketplace trying to place 12-week-old puppies looking for their forever home? Oh, he wants to be your Valentine. If you don't have arms waiting, find a day job. Okay? I don't know. I'm 59 years old. I have trained horses. I have fished lobster. I have fished oysters. I've had 2 restaurants. I've worked in nursing homes. I've worked in hospitals. I have worked in other restaurants that I didn't own. Dude, get a real job. Don't bring life into this world unless you know there are arms waiting. Just telling you. And if you're one of the breeders that I've had to call in the last 6 months to ask you why you're not answering the phone to your clients that are now my clients, you might be part of the problem. Yeah. I shouldn't have to be fixing your problems. I have enough stuff to deal with. When people contact me, it's because they know I won't bullshit them. You should not be selling puppies with heart murmurs and not potty trained. Everything good that can happen to a dog begins with the breeder. My God, you're breeding life. You're literally breeding life. I don't know what's wrong with these people that think, oh, hey, I think I'll try it. Helen makes it look easy. I think I'm going to start breeding so that, I don't know, maybe I can buy a new truck. Dude, I drive a 2007 Chevy Tahoe. And the dash looks like a Christmas tree. I do have a Mercedes, and I gave it to my daughter. My baby drives that. And my dogs didn't buy it. My dogs didn't buy it. I saved my money and I bought it and I gave it to my daughter. So you're not going to breed dogs and pay off a mortgage or buy a new truck or whatever. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. So be a breeder of integrity because there's enough backyard breeders in the world. Okay? Now, another story for you. And a lot of you on my Facebook page may remember this story. This one's kind of funny. Oh, about a year and a half ago, I got an email from a woman. Very nice. Hi, Helen. My name is Karen. Not going to mention her last name. Recently, my dog got killed. I'm devastated. I'm so totally devastated. Can I call you? I said, of course you can. I gave her my number. I stopped what I was doing. I sat down. Like a lot of people contact me when they've lost their dogs. Hi, Helen. My name's Karen. I live in Pennsylvania. My female, my girl, my best friend, she got killed a week ago. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Wow. I said, how can I help you? I'm terribly sorry for that. How can I help you? Well, I heard you're a real down-to-earth person. I heard you help people. I heard that you help people and to get through stuff and, she stroked my ego for a few minutes and blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, of course. And I think I spent the next 20 minutes talking about the loss of a dog. Y'all remember the video I did the other night about pet grief? I know a thing or two about grief. Okay? But I spent about 20 minutes on the phone with her and I said, of course, anything I can do to help you, I will. I heard you were so good. Thank you for listening. Can you do me a favor? Now, I thought she was going to want to go to contract on the upcoming breeding that I was doing. No, that's not why she called me. She said, here on my farm, my female got killed last week. My insurance company's going to pay me for the price of the dog. And I came to you because you get more money and I want the maximum out of my insurance company, and I'm hoping you'll write me a receipt for one of your puppies so that I can submit it to my insurance company. I almost got through it with a straight face. She literally said this. Oh my God, you can't make this up. She threw me. I said, wait, what? I thought you wanted a puppy. She goes, oh, yeah, maybe at some point in time, but can you give me a receipt that I can submit to my insurance company? Because right now you get the most for puppies, and I want to submit that to the insurance company. I said, Karen, Did you think about calling your breeder? Oh yeah, she don't answer the phone to me anymore. Yeah, I kind of know why now. I said, Karen, well, here's where we're at. I sell pups to a lot of law enforcement, government officials, a couple of snipers from the Pentagon, some Secret Service, some FBI. What you're asking me to do is fraudulent. And I own this logo in English and Italian, Bella Vista. And I'm not letting you take me on a ride. And no, I don't want the money you're offering me right now. And you should contact your original breeder and at least let her know that your dog died. And I am not going to help you defraud an insurance company. I'm not going to sign anything or give you a receipt for a puppy that hasn't even been born. And I don't know any other breeder of merit that's going to do that either. Well, she started to scream. She started to swear. She called me every dirty, rotten name in the book. What the F do I care? Blah, 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 blah. It's wrong. It's wrong. I'm not going to help you defraud an insurance company. But yeah, you can't make this stuff up. So I said, and by the way, thank you for having never contacted me for a puppy, because you are a piece of work. There's the third page. All right, where are we now? Some people, you can't make all this up. Where are we now? All right, so a lot of emotion goes into people contacting you. You probably should find out why they want the puppy. As a breeder, start out with the best lines. Make sure you are genetic testing every dog you are using in your breeding program. And make sure you can prove it. Guys, one of the people that contacted me in the last couple of days, she goes, did you see the other breeder? Not going to say what state because it'll give them away. And there's a litter of puppies available right now in Ohio and Pennsylvania. And you got to laugh. The heading is something to the effect of the parents are AKC registered and 100% genetic tested, clear, the blah, blah, blah. I know those breeders. The parents of that litter are not genetic tested, and they're certainly not clear. Moving on. When you contact a breeder, tell them you want to see the genetic testing results. And make sure it's not scanned and pasted. So, and don't throw other breeders' names around. And for heaven's sakes, if you're a breeder, don't take puppy pictures from other breeders' websites like mine, because 2 breeders in the United States have done it, and I've had to call them. And fun fact, I'm gonna call this out, and I'm gonna give you the name. About 5 years ago, the chick that owns Uno Grande, if you're watching, you remember me, told one of my clients in New Jersey that she'd like to go to the house in New Jersey when the pup that I sold her, a son of my gauge, was of age. She wanted to collect him, take his DNA back to her house, wherever rock she lives under, and she was going to impregnate her females with this DNA from my gauge's son. And my client at least had the decency to say, I don't have breeding rights. And the chick from Uno Grande said, that's fine, I'll just put my own stud as the sire. What? All my DNA's registered here, guys. You cannot surface with any litter without my permission. But I called her. I called her. Hello? This is Helen from Bella Vista English Mastiffs. Apparently you're friends with one of my clients. Did you literally tell her you can collect the pup she got from me and you're going to impregnate your female with him? And then you're going to put your own stud as the sire? Babe, don't do that. Don't do that. Can't make this up. Anyway, we never know what people are going through. Make sure all your dogs are genetic tested to to everything applicable to the breed that you're breeding. And I'm going to tell you why genetic testing is so critically important. Here's why. And this is another thing people don't want to talk about. Breeders in the United States don't want you to talk about this. And why I put Europe and Italy and England on a pedestal, and France, because they have tougher guidelines. And they can't get away with all the crap that breeders in the U.S. get away with. That's why. That's why I can put my head on my pillow at night. When I breed a litter out of one of my dogs that came from Antonio, I can literally prove every dog around my dogs have been 100% genetic tested. And they've been shown. And they cleaned up and they won everything. So, so just be honest. Be a breeder of integrity. There's enough backyard breeders in the world. Keep good vet records. My opinion is before you breed any male or female, you should have a blood panel done. They run about $385 just to tell you that your dog is on point and up to the white blood cell counts and the red. Like I can test white blood cell count here, red blood cell count. I do semen analysis here off my males. I can tell a lot. I can see a lot. I test urine. I can tell a lot in a urine sample. And I do fecal testing, regular fecal testing here in my whelping room. I do all my own progesterone testing and blood draws and fecal samples. And I'm sorry, but if you are breeding life, you need to hear some things. So we're talking about some things, the thises and the that's, okay? You may not want to hear it, but don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. Get your dogs tested, genetic tested. Have a clear conscience. Answer the phone in a timely manner when people call you. Don't be rude. And don't set your puppy prices based on me. All Mastiffs are not the same. All English Mastiffs are not the same. By the way, the breeder that's throwing my name around, she's trying to get my prices for her pups that are not even conformationally correct. And it's a mess. But you do whatever you want. If you think that your puppies are worth what I get for puppies, Jesus, you know what? I could get probably $2,000 more than I get for puppies. You know why I don't? I'm going to keep it simple. I don't ask more for my puppies because I have a lot of military members that contact me for puppies and injured law enforcement and border patrol agents. And this country does not take care of its military. Well, they do now. They do now. Don't throw me hate. It's a fact. Our military is a lot safer today than it was over the last 4 years. Oh, sweet Jesus, I'm going to lose some subscribers, but we're talking real here. I cannot ask $6,000 for puppies to our military or law enforcement or border patrol agents because they go out every day and put their lives at risk for us. And they always retire or come home different than they went. We owe our military and our law enforcement and our border patrol everything. We do a 10% discount for all law enforcement, border patrol, and military members. And that is our honor to do that. It's my privilege to do that. 10% is $450. If you're a breeder, I challenge you to do that. Keep good vet records. Stay in contact with your clients. Answer your phone, even when it's tough, even when there's a problem, even when you're not sure. As long as your clients are respectful to you, you should be respectful to them. So answer your phone in a timely manner. Be respectful to your clients. Just because you have their money and spent it doesn't mean you're off the hook. Hear what I'm saying? And if you have a puppy from someone and you call them, don't come off the cuff and say XYZ is wrong with the puppy. Get a medical opinion, get proof, maybe get a second opinion, then call the breeder and tell them there's a problem. Don't just fly off the cuff and say there's a problem with the puppy. What does all this mean? It means respect and good manners go a long way. And if you are a breeder of merit and integrity, you don't have all these problems. And do you know why it's never one of my clients on social media or YouTube asking other breeders for advice? Like, I literally get called once a week by people that got pups, like maybe adult dogs, but got pups from other breeders, and they're calling me trying to fix problems that the other breeder didn't do correctly, a breeder error. And I'm taking hours out of my life helping your clients. And I'm sorry, my time's important too. I don't get paid for that. Nobody's paying my bills. None of my clients are calling you, asking you for advice. You ought to think about that before you start throwing my name around, talking crap and saying that Helen this or Helen that. Dude, none of my clients are calling you for advice. And this has not got nothing to do with the good breeders of merit in the United States. There are good breeders. There are. I just happen to have something exclusive that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. But that doesn't mean anybody you can get a puppy from us. Money alone doesn't buy a puppy from me. I have to talk to you. I have to get a feel for you. I'm trusting you with something that I've dedicated my life to. I want to make sure you're ready. I want to make sure that what the puppy's going into is going to be good and stable. And I mean, I've even been contacted by couples that were breaking up and wanted me to write a letter on who I actually sold the puppy to. I am not getting involved in anything civil. It's whoever the bill of sale on the pup, that's who owns the puppy. AKC does not get involved in civil disputes. I am not getting involved in civil disputes. And if you really love the dog, you want what's best for the dog. So the dog should stay where it is familiar, where there's a good yard, and you should stay in the dog's life because they're like our children. Anyway. Did we deal with all the this and the that's? Did we literally? Because it's been a rough day. And yeah, I'm your girl. You're part of the Bella Vista family now. And I'm your girl. And if you want hard discussions, I'm your girl. I'm going to have them hard discussions. I'm going to ask them hard questions. I will call people out. And they know I will. I will ask them. I mean, but we've got to have discussions, have respect, have some good manners. We don't want to blame people and throw shade on people. But in this case, I kind of got my feathers up a little bit because it wasn't just one, but it was two people that show AKC that called me in the last week saying that those two people were throwing my name around. I'm not having it. Don't throw my name around. I was never trying to breed to your mail. We had discussions about one of my girls, Holly, that wasn't even Del Fracasso. I was never going to use your mail. And furthermore, the whole AKC documents on your mail didn't even add up and make any sense. And your dog came from, I think, Corinne, and I would never breed to anything Corinne had. You know who you are, Corinne. Anyway, all right, I'm going to close this live. Thanks for joining me. This is Bella Vista English Mastiffs, where we have tough discussions and we talk about subjects that nobody else wants to talk about. If you are interested in a puppy from Maze Breeding, I am not sure, actually, if I'm going to have any pups available, because I got lots of people interested. And one of my pups may go to somebody that shows. There is somebody that shows Westminster, all the big shows in Westminster. She's interested in a pup, and she has been for the last couple of years. I like to get a pup in her hands. I like to see one of my pups get there. I don't go because I'm 6 hours from Boston, and I got nothing to prove. So, all right. This is Bella Vista English Mastiffs. We're out. Have a great night.